Says, I'll take that right back, thank you. A-League legends up one end, football legends at the other, and it's 1-1 in this tie, 3-2 on aggregate to Sydney. As just Man United looking to find another way through. Hullet had more space than I think just Man United realised. Didn't need the first time pass, and as a result loses the ball.
Yeah, Samir's very calm at the moment. He's got that advantage, and he's just going to keep the ball and build up from the back through the midfield and try and open up the defence and slot another goal home.
Tell you what, they're two of the bigger boys here in the E-League, and I certainly wouldn't want to be the one putting the goals past. Pele looking to make a run in, maybe even a cross. Doesn't happen, but Sydney will have the corner. Pele the one to swing it in. Ronaldo potentially heads that into the defender, and it is the case, so it will be a repeat corner. This time he swings it in first time. There was a man at the back post, I think it was Ninkovic. But De Gea collecting that one. Just Man United immediately looking to go up the other end, but Samir very tight in and around that defensive mid area, giving him nothing. There's a man making a run in the middle. Good defense there by Justin. No way through.
Yeah, it's quite the even game so far. That's a lovely piece of play.
Ronaldo looking for a ball in for Hullet. You can see Amy here tilting her head, willing it to go on. Unfortunately, not the case. That attack breaking down. But really, it's a battle of the boxes at the moment. The midfield area almost non-existent. Both teams going through at will. That time, the big body of the Phoenix defender gets in the way. And so we'll go straight up the other end. It's end-to-end stuff, Amy.
Yeah, it certainly is. There is a midfield, but I'm not sure where they are.
Hullet and Vieira cancelling each other out. And so the Ronaldo's combining. A solid strike. Not a high percentage chance. And as such, it goes out for a corner for the Knicks. McGlinchey to the edge of the area. We see some stellar goals before. Burns does not add to the list this time. But you know, Amy, when just Man United's in space outside the box, he's going for that screamer.
Yeah, and he's very good at putting them in the back of the net as well, so why not?
Could have his own highlights reel, and we'd all be very impressed and captivated. Really in the fourth round. Less than halfway through this competition, and already some incredible goals. Check out the highlights on the E-League Hub if you haven't seen them, because they are well worth watching. Some more highlights potentially in this one. Sydney with space. Ronaldo could have shot, decides just to dribble his way through. Tried to find a better angle, gets it straight back from the Knicks. Oh. And as such, Vieira will punish him. Not quite sure what Justin was doing. Needed to clear it or a firm pass out. Unfortunately for him, gave it back to Sydney, and Vieira makes no mistake.
Yeah, there's a part of the Cove in the stands as well. They're looking very happy up there. Marco's doing the dab. Please don't do that.
Marco hyped up and excited, dabbing at will. And why not when your teammate is scoring goals like that? Vieira, an absolutely lovely finish in the 34th minute, which will make it 2-1 in this tie. Of course, 4-2 on aggregate.
As I said, we have part of the Cove up in the stands, and Marco watching his teammate very closely up there, cheering him on. Very happy at the moment with that 4-2 lead on aggregate.
The crowd really getting into this one. Marco right at the forefront of it. The Knicks, of course, not out of this contest by any stretch.
No, it's still plenty of time to get back in the game. Obviously, a 2-goal. Oh, he might pull one back. Oh.
Hullet with the first time shot sits up nicely for De Gea. Not to be, but promising signs. As Michael Zullo starts the play for Sydney FC. Ronaldinho, show us the skill moves. Unfortunately, passes to an offside Ronaldo. And so it is this A-League pairing on the right-hand side that starts the attack for the Knicks. Unfortunately, they go centrally The double turnover. We have Ronaldo in a bit of space. It's a tight angle. De Gea.
What a save.
Stretches out the foot. De Gea, of course, a staple for all these E-League teams. Admittedly, individually, he didn't start out the night the way we've been used to, but he's certainly coming good as this night progresses.
Yeah, obviously we just saw that with Ceysanis, having everything to thank for De Gea, getting him over the line there.
Ryan Grant getting into an advanced position. Goes on the dribble, unfortunately, doesn't quite come off for Samir. As we approach halftime, potentially just Man United with one more opportunity, not meant to be. And so in this second leg, it is 2-1 to Sydney FC, making it 4-2 to them on aggregate.
That was a very exciting first match to kick off Xbox, Honey Badger. What do you think your thoughts are on for just Man United for the second half?
Yeah, so he's obviously coming from that deficit in the first leg as well. He's going to have to push for the second half. We've got Krishna coming on there at cam. He's obviously got the pace and maybe do some damage on that left-hand side.
For sure. And Sydney FC leading the charge again with the goals. They're getting 2 goals in that first half. Do you think Samir will come out and put a few more away again in the second half? He's
back into the 4-2-3-1, which is a good formation to hold the ball. We know that Sam can obviously do that at this stage of the game with that lead he's currently holding.
Well, let's get the second half underway and we'll hand back over to Nate and Amy.
Thank you so much. As the second half is underway, changes made by both sides. Again, we talked about Ceysanis maybe changing when he didn't need to. Samir, I thought it might have still been the case. Goes on the attack from the kickoff, doesn't quite come off. More changes to be made. Just Man United really needs to get back into this one, Amy. Can't leave anything to chance.
No, and this is the half to leave everything out on the pitch. He's got 2 goals to make up for to get the 3 points, or 3 goals to make up for if he wants the 3 points. But a half to do it in, and it's definitely been done. So can't wait to see this second half unfold.
As we see 2 4-2-3-1s in operation. One, however, slightly wider. Sydney FC's being slightly wider. There are also some subs made. You pointed out there, I believe, Honey Badger, that Krishna was coming on. Potentially some pace from midfield. We will get back to those changes, but for now, it is Sydney. A free kick and a very dangerous opportunity. Will he go direct on goal or the layoffs? The first step over.
Top corner.
The second one. The layoff. Ronaldo with the strike and into the wall. Just Man United seen that many times before. Gets his players in the way. Swung in from Sydney. Ramos. Chests it down. Sergio Ramos. Not expected whatsoever. We're so used to seeing him pop up with his head. This time, chests it down, shifts it onto the right foot, and a lovely finish. I thought he was a striker. With that type of footwork. Look at this, plays it down on the right foot, bottom corner. Says to all the players in the E-League, step up your game because I can pull this off. I don't think that Samir can believe it.
No, he was just shaking his head. Not sure if that was in disbelief or being a little bit cheeky over there. 1 or 2.
It certainly paid off, and that is a crucial goal for him. A lot of breathing space, and just Man United going to need to score at least 3 now, Amy.
Yeah, aggregates are up to 5-2 now, so he's got a little bit more work to do, but we might see it. We won't see it there.
Almost. The space did open up in the center of the attacking area. Unfortunately, not to be. And of course, Sydney FC on top of the ladder. They already have such a large goal difference, but any of these extra goals will only add to that lead and make it harder for the teams to catch them. However, Krishna dances through. That surely must have been a deflection. It is a corner. Wonderful dribbling there from Krishna. Unfortunately, not the finish to match. The short corner routine doesn't quite come off. And as we mentioned, Amy, Sydney will be looking to build on this goal difference and try to extend their lead at the top.
Yeah, obviously with tonight's results, we're still waiting to see how the Mariners go, but they're on top as well with 9 points and won the first leg. So, you know, you never know, it could both be on 9 points after round 4 as well. So that goal difference will definitely play in Sydney's favour.
Ramos, after scoring at one end, gets in the way of that at the other. It flew quickly, but past the post. A header in, an excellent chance there Ronaldinho, not known for his defending duties, caught out on that corner. This time, however, dribbled in by Messi. Vieira, blocked out by Gullit. Samir just needs to get it out. He doesn't have any players to pass it to. I say that, he finds the one-man forward in Ronaldo. He had 5 men on him, didn't even matter. And now Ronaldinho to dribble it away. Pause cued, no doubt, by Just Man United. Of course, we mentioned, Amy, Sydney looking to pile on more goals, but Central Coast, when it comes to their leg, I believe we'll need to score 6 just to draw level.
Yeah, 6 is obviously a lot of goals, but as we've seen in E-League tonight and the past 4 rounds, anything can happen. So we'll wait and see on that in the coming game.
Both teams making some changes. At halftime, we saw Mierzejewski being brought on. We now see also for Sydney, Henry on for Ronaldinho, looking to use his pace. Ronaldinho, obviously so lovely on the ball, excellent skills. But Henry, maybe more of an attacking threat as he cuts back. He'll cut back again, lays it off to Adrian. Adrian, unfortunately, can't find a way through. Krishna breaks here for the Knicks. Can they make some of these goals up? They need at least 3 to draw this one up. Ronaldinho to Ronaldo. I didn't think it was much of a shot. It didn't have much pace on it whatsoever, but it was accurate, and that's what counted. Just Man United, a smile on his face. He knows he's got a chance. It's now 5-3 on aggregate. A lovely finish from CR7. He gets his first of the game. The Ronaldo's normally so dominant. That's the first time they've knocked onto the score sheet. And that turnover from Adrian at one end, absolutely costly. Because Wellington, more shots here, maybe not of a high enough quality. The ball in from Adrian. Henry was lurking at the back stick. Can't put that one away. Samir with the better quality chances, and it showed so far. But of course, Just Man United only needs 2 now to draw this one up on aggregate.
Yeah, I think Samir needs to put a little bit more pressure on again. Maybe he sat back a little bit. But, you know, this game's only 3-2, so he needs to pile on a bit to make sure he wins this game.
Win your leg first, and then maybe you can worry about the tie, as they did have a deficit coming into this one. Freshest after starting, not freshest, sorry, Just Man United after starting so well. Losing his next 2 games after winning his first. Looks like it could be 3 on the bounce here, as we have Samir and Sydney FC breaking away. I agree with you completely, Amy. I think Samir put his foot off the pedal a little bit, starting to get a bit complacent. We saw the GOAT charging back in the Sydney derby, able to win that tie after Samir looks so dominant. Closing out games, certainly something he needs to work on. Can he do it here? There was so much space for Ronaldo. The pass didn't need to come. He tried to force it, and now Just Man United with the opportunity on the break.
Yeah, Samir's first halves in all of his games have been very good, and he gets that buffer that he needs, but sometimes lets them back in. So hopefully he can hold Wellington out and get the 3 points.
Fancy footwork from Ronaldinho. Had a pass to his left. Wanted to try and find a way through. We know Just Man United loves his compilation goals, loves his speckies. Not to be that time, as Samir, now a bit more controlled, knows a 2-goal buffer with less than 10 minutes remaining, including added on time, you would think. Can he make it 4 for himself now? Mierzejewski in space, the right foot driven ball to the top of the area. Doesn't come off. And so we see there Straw Hat Camels watching this one on as well. He knows if he scores 5, he can go top. There's so many factors at play here, Amy. You want to win your game. You want to win the double leg. You also want to go top of the ladder if you're in a fortuitous position like the Mariners are.
Yeah, of course. And he knows now going into his leg that if he scores 5, he goes top. So there's a bit of motivation for him.
You can never take your foot off the pedal. Krishna into Ronaldinho. Grant tidying that one up. Crucial positioning from that right back, which has effectively killed it off for the Knicks. That was their chance. Some excellent goals in this one, Amy. Both competitors really showing what they're made of.
Yeah.
But Samir growing in this tournament and showing he can close games down now as well.
Yeah, last week he struggled to close down the game, but he has done here, and Sydney win 5-3 and get the 3 points.
Courtesy of that specky from Ramos. We'll be talking about that one for a while. It was 3-2 in this one and 5-3 on aggregate to Sydney FC.
That was an exciting match to kick off Xbox, with Sydney FC getting up 5-3 in aggregate and 5 goals in the first match.
Yeah, so we saw Sam there just scoring goals at will there. Marco at the back told me he was a corner specialist, and that's obviously paid off there for the easy goal for the second one.
It was definitely exciting. Let's have a look at the goals that we saw now. So Mariners here. Wellington, sorry. Beautiful first goal, getting in the back net in the right position as well, would you say?
Yeah, just worked that extra pass in there and then just got the easy tap in. Beautiful Fifa there, just to work that extra pass, get that good goal.
And more good play here from Sydney. Beautiful goal there. Quite a hard angle to manage to slot that one in.
Yeah, he's just gone for the low driven there, and Pele's obviously tucked that in from a very tight angle.
100%. More good play here from Sydney, passing the ball around beautifully, and bottom net, not bad at all.
You see Sam laughing there. That's a Vieira left foot through the legs of Ramos. I mean, that deserves a smile.
Yeah, could not blame him on that one. Some good build-up again that we saw here.
And there's a corner specialist, as Marco was telling me about, into the front post, gets the lucky bounce, and then into Ramos there for the low-driven finesse.
Quite a tricky finish as well for him, and you can see the teammate not too happy about that one.
Sam was smiling away. He knows he's got lucky with that one there.
And more great play here. Bringing in the new Ronaldinho into the game, and a world-class finish that one was.
Yeah, he's really worked that well there. The low, he got really into the good position, got it into Ronaldo's feet, and that was a low driven across the goal, and that's a high percentage shot, so it goes in.
100%. Sydney FC now top of the ladder, looking like they're the favourites of the tournament, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, they got a good team there. Sam, obviously the former Footwiz man, and he did well last year in Canada, won the PlayStation division. So Marco as well, carrying the team with winning all these games as well. So it's looking good for Sydney.
Very classy players, aren't they?
Very good players.
Let's go over to Mads now in the green room.
Thanks, Britt. I'm here with Samir, who's fresh off his win. So with that win, you are currently undefeated, Sydney FC. How does that feel?
It feels amazing. We set out to win all 9 games undefeated, so we're still on track. And yeah, hopefully we can continue that.
Now, you're looking like the early favourites to take out this tournament. Are you feeling any pressure?
No, not at all. We're just taking it one game at a time, and yeah, I'm confident we can do it.
And talk to me about the match you just played. Are you happy with how you did?
Yeah, I'm happy considering I went 1-0 down early in the game. Managed to bring it back to 3-1 and conceded. And I was a bit nervous towards the end of the game, but like I had to see the game out, and yeah, just happy I got the win.
Well, that strong mentality really showed. Congratulations tonight, and thanks for having a chat.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mads. Just looking at the fixtures and results so far. So Sydney FC are up 5-3 to Wellington Phoenix. Next up, we have Newcastle Jets versus Melbourne Victory, currently sitting at a 1-1 tie, so we'll see what both players can bring to the tournament. Let's bring out Newcastle Jets, Hickory. Returning from A-League duties, let's bring out Melbourne Victory's Mitch Austin. Let's get this second match underway. Over to Jake and Jared.
Cheers for that, Brittany. Your brother just trying to get the crowd hyped. I don't mind it at all. But anyway, here we go, boys. It is the second game in the Xbox division. It is Melbourne Victory versus Newcastle Jets. My name is Jake, the Master Bucks Buckley. And alongside me in commentary, the YouTube Dream Team duo are back. Jared HD, mate, welcome.
Pleasure to be alongside you for the first time tonight, Jake. And I am very excited for this game. 2 teams without a win, Melbourne Victory and Newcastle Jets. Who is going to get off the mark? Maybe we're going to see the first draw over 2 legs for the E-League competition. We're all going to see it across 90 FIFA minutes here, but taking a look at this Newcastle Jets side, we're seeing Georgeski. Of course, he did get red carded in last week's fixtures for BL FIFA, and I am sure that Hickory is not going to want a similar fate here for him.
Now, some very interesting selections in that Newcastle team. The fact that Thierry Henry starting up forward, We've, of course, got Desai, the brand new Prime Desai in there, so there's no surprise because he's been phenomenal so far. Inform Juan Fran at right back is a very unique pick as well. Now moving on, though, to Mitch Austin and Melbourne Victory. Mitch Austin has only played 2 games, the fact that, yes, he was away for round 3. But now he's back, of course. He's got himself back into the team. We have seen Mitch Austin score already before tonight. The first goal that he scored in the E-League in gameplay, that is, of course, his teammate Mose Wed was able to pick one up with him. But can he score with himself? That's what we're here for.
And, of course, a big exclusion from the Melbourne Victory team today is Guerrier. He has transferred away from Melbourne Victory, which makes him ineligible to be in this Melbourne Victory side. So Mitch has had to adjust accordingly, and he's looking to get his first personal win for the tournament. Only 2 games played, of course, as we mentioned, missing last week. So 2 losses for Mitch Austin. Who is going to get the win here? It's going to be a very interesting 90 minutes, and somebody's got to get off the mark.
Yeah, and again, as you say, both of these players are looking for their first, not just a win, but their first draw. They've unfortunately for them lost each and every one of their games. We've got Mitch Austin, who's dropped 2, and Bossier Hickory, who actually had to play 2 games in the first round due to his teammate BL Fifa not being available. So he's actually dropped 4. Both of these guys really, I reckon, will fancy themselves to maybe hopefully back themselves and get something for try to get anything, their first point, their first individual point, and also to try to see out their club's first points in the E-Leagues as well.
Personally, I'm very excited to see how Hickory goes in this game. Personally, I think he's been unlucky throughout his opening games. He's played pretty decently across his first 4 games, so can he get a win here in round 4? I think he is a big shout today.
We'll see how it goes. Melbourne Victory looking to switch things up to that 4-2-3-1 formation. We got Sanchez moved out to the right-hand side. Interesting. Troisi at centre defensive mid. Mitch Austin, although he is once again now making those changes. And again, we're seeing Hickory just flicking back and forth to see what formation that his opponent's going to go with. We now know it is that 4-2-3-1 formation, but this is a big one. Of course, Melbourne Victory do lead the tie at the moment, 2-1 on aggregate, and we are underway in this Xbox match. The second leg, let's get it underway.
And not only is it a big game in the E-League, it's also going to be a big game in the A-League when the 2 teams come up against one another. Of course, both teams looking to play finals football. Newcastle Jets all but secured a final spot and a big win against them in real life last week against Sydney FC, but they've been looking to replicate that form here today in the E-League. Thierry Henry with some decent position for Newcastle Jets, but ultimately Mitch Austin able to dispossess it.
Once again, clarification again that the aggregate score is 1-1 at the moment, so level standings at the moment. And again, like you touched on pre-game, that there is yet to be a single draw in the E-League competition. We're nearly 4 rounds finished here, and yet still it's just been W's and L's at the moment. So eventually maybe we'll see points be shared, but who knows? It could end up being these 2, or maybe one player in particular will end up seizing control of the game and maybe running away with it.
And of course, the first leg between Mo and BL Fifa was a very close encounter, a very cagey affair, a 1-1 draw. We saw Mo scoring with Mitch Austin as Melbourne Victory into the box. Marcelo, of all players, the Brazilian left back, pushing up and forcing David De Gea into a diving save to his left.
They can definitely be quite effective using your fullbacks, really running at the defense, pushing up forward with them. Just provides that extra number and support to potentially get an attack and to find an opening, and especially in that situation. Got the shot off. Team of the year, David De Gea, you'd probably expect him to save that, but still, any other goalkeeper, and you reckon you might potentially be ruffling the back of the net.
I still can't get over those saves that Team of the year De Gea made for Peter Sasanis from Perth Glory in the Perth-Adelaide first leg. The ones on the stroke of half-time.
They were godlike. They were ridiculous.
They were amazing. They come very close to the triple save that Cripsy's De Gea made as we go for a long shot there, but off the free kick, but it is going to go out for a corner. Reminds me of Cripsy's De Gea round 1 against Mitch Austin, who is playing here and who is defending right now. It goes Maldini off the crossbar, follow-up, got rid of there, and it's going to be the right back, the Atletico Madrid right back, whose name I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce because I am not cultured enough, Jake, but it's going to be 1-0 Melbourne Victory, 2-1 on aggregate. Look at that contact there.
Sensational.
Into the side netting. What a start to the game that is there.
Yeah, Vieira turned his back to it a little bit and he came just so close, just grazing the butt cheeks, I'll be totally honest, on its way through. And that looked like it was just going outside the post, but curling in, or he just sliced it and it was ended up finding its way in. That was a tremendous strike for sure. And now Newcastle will take the lead 2-1 on aggregate. Bossier Hickory, if he can seize control of this game and continue to go forward, then that will be big for him. As Ronaldo maybe coming back on, yes, he was offside, he was in the outside position, but getting back to what I was saying before about how Bossier Hickory, if he can seize control and maybe try to pile on the goals in this game, a bit of a concerning issue for Newcastle is the fact that they are at the moment on the bottom of the table, and even though there are 3 teams at this stage that are without a point in the E-League, Newcastle actually have a negative 11 goal difference, and I think the second worst team would be Melbourne Victory with only about -6, I guess technically now -7, but if that could potentially
big talking point of Newcastle season, both on the Xbox and PS4 divisions, has been red cards. We saw, of course, Hickory in round 1 getting a red card with Puyol, Carlos Puyol, and then last week, BL Fifa getting a red card with Georgeski. So they've really had a poor goal differential due to the fact that they've given away the red cards. I don't think Newcastle in both divisions have played all that poorly. They've just gotten some poor lapses of judgment in terms of making silly challenges and a bit of bad luck on their end of things, but definitely Newcastle, they might be able to string a few wins together and really look like they're going to push for the title.
Yeah, ever since that Puyol sending off, I don't think we've seen much more of him, to be totally honest. I think he may have played in round 2, but that was about it, though. He's now been replaced. But Newcastle looking to find a near amazing ball through to Ronaldo, just couldn't find a way past the defence. But still, Melbourne Victory now looking to attack, but again, cut out well. Desai's intercepted that one. And again, like you were saying, the fact that the red cards have been really a hindrance for Newcastle, as I'll just be a little patient as Pullett's just trying to find a way through, though, can't get by Rio Ferdinand. But those red cards, I mean, like the game that we saw last week, BL FIFA, I believe against Marco HD, that game right up until the red card was relatively even. The second that he lost a player, Marco went crazy and scored 5 goals. Like that's yeah, it's all come down to that sometimes. So maybe Newcastle have had it a little bit unfortunate and things not go their way, but maybe things can turn around for them.
Not even the second he got sent off. You've got to remember, as Mitch Austin comes in the attack here, but you've got to remember that we were commenting on how BL FIFA, hold up, Troisi is going here, Ronaldo!
How many chances, unbelievable.
It. But as we were saying, Marco was struggling to break down BL FIFA for a little while at the end of that first half, once the player, Georgeski, was sent off. But then, once Marco got that first goal against BL FIFA, it rained. The floodgates were open, and then that ultimately led to the 5-1 scoreline. But Newcastle, definitely our pick, or at least my pick, to make a big charge in the second half of the season.
We'll see how it ends up, mate. There's definitely a lot of teams down the bottom that have maybe not exactly fired as well as what maybe some of them are expecting to do. This is a great ball. Mitch Austin! Oh, that's a sensational tackle. For a second, I thought he may have been in trouble and we may have potentially seen another red card for Newcastle, but nope, clean tackle. And geez, that was close.
Not only another red card for Newcastle, but a second Mitch Austin goal tonight.
Oh, that would have been beautiful by Mitch Austin himself. That would have been tremendous, but not to be. Still, we continue on. Troisi just a bit of a poor touch, loses that one. Newcastle retain possession back again.
Melbourne Victory and Mitch Austin, 5 minutes to go in this first half. A goal, an equaliser to tie things up in aggregate and in the leg would be massive here. So they want to have it all to play for heading into the second half. Mitch Austin wants this one even. Are we going to see it, Jake? He's come close a few times, but we might be able to see it now. As Mitch Austin himself, a poor pass to Desai.
Yeah, we see in the last round that we saw Mitch Austin featuring in round 2 against Footloose Jamie, the amount of attacks that he was racking up, especially toward the end of the game, it was quite astounding how he wasn't able to score at least 1 or 2 of them. With the sheer amount of chances he created, and really good chances, I think he just unfortunately got, just team of the year. David De Gea is just doing his thing and then got a little bit unlucky. So I think if of all the players in this competition that could just potentially go off one day, it might be Mitch Austin as he gets another sort of tough chance. Doesn't exactly get all of it on the contact there with R9 Ronaldo, and it looks like it's probably going to go, we're going to go into halftime, Newcastle 1 up.
2 minutes remaining, and there it is. That is halftime in this clash. And as you mentioned, it is going to be Newcastle Jets 1, Melbourne Victory 0, 2-1 on aggregate.
That was quite a tight first half there, Nate. What did you make of the first half?
Very tight. Tight is definitely the word for it. Both of these competitors are unfortunately not able to get W's on the board so far, but that could be broken here tonight. And I think you can see both of them really searching for it. Definitely not going all out attack, particularly because the tie is so open. And then that incredible finish from the Atletico right back was absolutely brilliant. The Croat making sure of it. I can't wait for the second half.
It was very classy play indeed. Let's get underway and we'll hand back over to Jake and Jared.
Cheers, Britt. Just about to get once again underway in this second half. Some minor changes being made, but we'll see how these boys kick on in the second.
Mitch Austin looking to set the tempo early. And a point I was going to make before half-time was, we've spoken to Mitch himself and a lot of people around him. He has said personally that he feels like he performs better in a more controlled, like more comfortable environment, a more relaxed environment, maybe at home playing foot champions by himself. Maybe the lights are getting to him. We saw it, as you mentioned, he had a great ending to the game against Jamie last week, and I think that's because he became more relaxed in his abilities, kind of settled into the scene, and he'd be hoping personally that he can get over that and get really into the way he plays FIFA for this second half.
So basically what you're saying, mate, is as this game continues on and we're getting toward the finishing stages, that maybe we'll see him build into this game and we could see some of his best FIFA of the game at the moment, and potentially, depending on how Bossy Hickory starts this first half, maybe, who knows, we could see him get back into this. It's
a fairly self-explanatory statement, but if Mitch can keep this one close, I would not be surprised if he just quick-fire goals. Last 10 minutes just went on an absolute rampage and was able to steal the points in this one. So he needs to set himself up for a very strong finish to the game.
What you mentioned before about certain players on a big stage like this, obviously the majority of these boys are just playing FIFA in their own settings, whether that be at home or maybe they're in a bit more of a professional setup if they take this a little bit more seriously, but just in a comfortable environment, they just bang out games and bang out like weekend league matches and stuff. And then again, when you come out to this stage, you've got a crowd watching you, you've got thousands and thousands watching on the streams as well. It's definitely got to get to you a little bit. And I, to be honest, maybe thought there'd be some players that would be able to deal with it and others, but I think you definitely raise a pretty good point here as Thierry Henry just down the right-hand side looking to cross it in to Ruud Gullit, but dealt with by Rio Ferdinand.
Yeah, well, as you mentioned, I feel like a lot of the more experienced players, your Marcus Gomes, your Marcos, the players that have stepped up on the big stage, played in these big tournaments, are able to initially handle it. But I feel like as the competition goes on and these guys get used to playing on the big stage week in, week out, we're going to see some of these new sort of unexperienced players get opportunities as Mitch Austin slowly building towards potentially a goal-scoring opportunity. We see his twin sister, Britt, one of the hosts, getting quite excited over on the sidelines there. She wants her twin brother to get his first win of the tournament. Maybe we'll see it. But Ronaldinho, edge of the box, trying to skill. Low-driven shot. De Gea forced into another save.
Yeah, it's incredible how Mitch goes from getting so close to scoring to immediate counter-attack by Bossy Hickory and another really good chance. We've got the boys watching on now, at least BL FIFA, really hoping and praying from the sound of things, or from the looks of things with his putting his hands together like that. He's definitely trying to make sure that Newcastle pick up their first points. And I feel like he did about as much as he could against Mose Wed. Troisi now nearly slipping in Ronaldo. That was good, but it's still going to fall to Mitch Austin. He probably should have shot that, and I think that's what he was maybe trying to do, but just, I don't know, maybe a little bit of a mistake there just to pass it off. I'm not sure who exactly he was trying to pass to. Something tells me that's probably not what he intended.
What a moment it would have been as we see the ball come into the area here. Squared, goes to Vieira. Good tackle from Vieira on Vieira. But what a moment it would have been if Mitch Austin equalised with Mitch Austin, the player, in that fashion. We can see Mo in the crowd here. He got very excited when he saw that one. Thought he had an equaliser there. Thought Melbourne Victory might be able to get themselves their first point of the competition. But still 20 minutes here for Melbourne Victory to prove themselves. And there has never been a draw in the E-League, so Mitch Austin and Melbourne Victory, along with Newcastle, looking to make E-League history. 4 rounds in it, and I can't believe that. I can't believe that we're 4 rounds into it, and there still has not been a draw. That is big, Jake.
We'd have 16 complete fixtures so far at this point, given that this is the second game in the Xbox division. Oh, that's not too well cleared. Oh, and that's not good either. Petratos, the shot saved, or should I say blocked by Valencia, came very close to that one. And I tell you what, if that one had gone in, then potentially that could have been game over. There's still 15 minutes left to go. We are going to see now some changes for potentially both sides here, whether they be formation changes or just some substitutions. We're seeing players like Petratos getting a bit tired at the moment, but for sure. I'm definitely seeing as well that Mitch Austin's really, throughout this entire game, is really focusing, or at least attacking really through the corridor, right up the middle, just going for it. And I suppose that probably suits the formation that he's running with as well. Don't really see him go wide or try to cross it in, play it around the outside of the box as much as just right down the middle. And so far, he just hasn't been able to find that, what would be a really tight gap to try to feed through an attacker. And even though he has come close, for sure, it's just, at the moment, still not really opening up for him.
And I still find it interesting that Mitch is putting a lot of faith in his Melbourne Victory teammates. He's got Troisi at attacking mid. He's got himself at left wing, as we see Ronaldinho putting the cross in here. that could have been good night if they were able to score, Newcastle Jets. But you would think maybe that he would look to bring on one of the icon players, one of the big name players into that attacking mid spot, maybe the left wing spot, add a bit more attacking flair. But it's good to see the Melbourne Victory man has a lot of faith in his teammates, and hopefully for his sake that they can repay it for him.
And this looks like it was a pretty promising counter-attack, because they had a few numbers up for the corner there, Newcastle, and they could have been exposed, but just turned over again. Austin, Troisi, Messi, Ronaldo. And again, the numbers are starting to file back in. I'm not exactly sure what was going on there, but the ball does eventually find a way to Messi. He just let it run, or it just got a bit beyond him. Great cross. And I believe, is that Conte that got a very good volley to it, but just right down the throat of the goal. And I think that should have been 1-1.
Put that one on a silver platter. What a ball that was from Lionel Messi. We've seen it happen time and time again in real life, and almost getting N'Golo Kante onto the scorer sheet here and tying this one up. And that might prove to be costly. Ronaldo, though, Cristiano Ronaldo, a lot of space, plays
options.
it, goes to Mitch Austin. De Gea, goal line technology, where are you? That was so close. Interesting decision from Mitch Austin, and you've got to expect Hickory now to sit back, get the result. A beautiful ball, great vision. It's going up to Messi, up against Rio Ferdinand. What are we going to see here? Absolutely bossed, but it is going to be a foul.
Yeah, I think with that chance before that Mitch Austin had, I think he was trying to switch to him and didn't, in the end, have enough time to actually just get a regular shot off, because we all know what happens when you try to switch players and then shoot immediately after. You will occasionally chip it when you don't intend to do so. So that's probably what happened there. I don't imagine he was trying to go for it. Nearly pulled off, though, to be fair. I mean, De Gea grabs it. Ronaldinho with some space. Georgievski's there. He puts his shot wide. That would have been good night. But it is still 2-1 on aggregate, and it still could go either way.
I think this has been a game of what-if opportunities. So many opportunities that have been begging to be scored, but only the one goal so far. Little pass through the legs here. I saw you were quite happy about that one, Jake, but we're nearing stoppage time here. Is it too late for Mitch Austin and Melbourne Victory? Are we going to see BL FIFA and Hickory get Newcastle Jets' first 3 points of the E-League competition? I think we might. Great defense there from Mitch Austin. One last opportunity. Kante going up to Troisi. Cristiano Ronaldo, you've got to go all out attacking here. Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't want to bring it near halftime. Don't want to hear that full-time whistle.
He's only got 2 minutes of stoppage time.
Great
That's a big tackle.
Maldini.
And it's game over.
Time.
There you go, game over. It is going to finish Newcastle Jets 2-1 on aggregate, a victory. Bossier Hickory's first win of the E-League as well. Big result right there. And Newcastle finally pick up their first points in the E-League. This game finishes 1-0, but on aggregate, it's Newcastle 2, Melbourne Victory 1. Let's send it over to Britt.
Well, that was a quite a tense match, that one. 1-0 to Newcastle. Mitch probably falling a bit under pressure, pressing the wrong buttons when he was in the right spots.
He sort of had the opportunities. We saw another great one there at the end. Overplayed it when he maybe needed to keep it simple. Underplayed it when an extra pass could have been really valuable. But credit to Hickory and Newcastle Jets, their first win. They've got to be feeling good about that.
I'm sure they are. Let's have a look at that goal, shall we?
And it was only the one from the man, Dane Crowe. But goodness, if it wasn't special. The wonderful save, it fell back out to the right back. I want to say Vilsalco, and it was a wonderful finish. Starting just inside the post, curling back, De Gea never getting to it. And really, that was the moment of the match. That was the thing that changed it. BL FIFA knew it. Bossier Hickory knew it.
We all knew it was, didn't we? Definitely had no chance of getting to that one, but some other good build-up that we saw from both teams.
Austin there really just needed to shoot first time and decided again to overplay. We saw Georgievski rather with an excellent touch later there. Oh my goodness, why didn't you take a touch? We were screaming for it. Honey Badger just said, why wouldn't you take a touch? Acres of space. Again.
Another close call. Would like to see that one on the line there. Quite a close call.
Unfortunately, Mitchie did really well, again, in that game the entire way through. We'll review that footage and certainly be stronger for it.
Thank you for that one. Let's go over to Mads now in the green room.
Thanks, Britt. I'm here with Bowden. That was such a tense game and there was so much on the line. How are you feeling right now?
I'd say I'm relieved. I'd sent Dane into the second leg, basically playing a fresh game. So a bit of pressure on him to get us off the bottom of the ladder, and he done it. So, yeah, I'm really happy about that.
And tell me about the game that we just saw.
Dane played well. I think he controlled the first half fairly well. Mitch had his chances in the second half with De Gea making some really good saves. But I'd say Dane probably deserved the win.
Those few incredible saves in the second half, were you a bit nervous there at all?
Yeah, I nearly fell off my chair. So it was, yeah, definitely a hard in mouth sort of time.
And tell me a little bit about your game. I feel like we didn't really get to see the real Bowden in the first few weeks, and now you're sort of coming into your own play style. Tell me a little bit about that.
At first half, I probably wasn't too impressed with my game. Second half, I took the headphones off. I don't know, maybe they make me feel a bit weird. But yeah, I sort of come into it a little bit more. But yeah, could have went either way that game too, I think.
Well, congratulations tonight. You have your first points on the board, and hopefully it's just up from here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mads. Just a quick recap of the results so far. Sydney FC are up 5-3 to Wellington Phoenix, and Newcastle Jets got up 2-1 to Melbourne Victory on aggregate. Next up, we have Central Coast Mariners versus Western Sydney Wanderers. Currently Mariners with a 4-2 lead. So let's get this game underway and bring out Central Coast Mariners Straw Hat Camels. Representing Western Sydney Wanderers, Oh Noah Goat. Let's get this match underway. Over to Jake and Honey Badger.
Thanks for that one, Brittany. Welcome everyone to Game 3 in the Xbox division, wrapping up yet another fixture here. It is, of course, Western Sydney Wanderers versus the Central Coast Mariners. My name is Jake, the Master Bucks Buckley, and alongside me in commentary, Honey Badger. We've got him back on the desk, mate. Welcome.
Thank you very much, man.
Yeah, so again, we have got a very interesting one here. Like I was saying earlier, it is second versus fourth on the E-League table at the moment. Central Coast Mariners going into bat for the, or should I say, Straw Hat Camels going into bat for the Central Coast Mariners, who's got a pretty good record himself. He's picked up a win, 2 draws, so he's undefeated at this stage. And at the moment, it looks like he's playing a slightly different team to his counterpart. Of course, he looks like he's going with almost completely different set of A-League players, to be honest with you as well.
Yeah, so he's just got that right-hand side again. We'll see maybe a change in formation at the start, see where he moves them, but got Oh Noah Goat as well there with like 3 wins. The old foot whiz man showing what he can do on the big stage yet again. Absolutely. Oh Noah Goat again at the moment has won every single one of his games. He's looking to go for 4 in a row to join Marco HD, and I believe Kieran Gupta also won his game. Of course he did, because it is 4-2 on aggregate. Now, this is the thing. At the moment, Sydney FC are on top of the E-League table with 12 points, and they do have a fair goal difference. Now, if Straw Hat Camels, and this is a tough ask, if he is somehow able to win this game, and not just win it, but win it by 5 goals, he will go top of the E-League table, or he will take Central Coast top of the E-League table. It is a tough ask, I reckon, just for Straw Hat Camels to beat Oh Noah Goat, knowing that he has won every single one of these games. And yes, Straw Hat Camels by far has definitely been one of those players that is obviously fantastic, but still sort of somewhat slid under the radar a little bit, but it's a cracking contest. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he can come back from that many goals down. He's not gone for 3 at the back from the start, might have gone, but he's gone with an attacking formation. He's hopefully Goat maybe will match that, or maybe go defensive himself and try to hold the ball for the game. And again, we see Straw Hat Camel switch that 4-1-2-1-2 formation, which has gotten a really, really good run today, that is for sure. But it will be very interesting to see as the Western Sydney Wanderers are trying to find a way to get a little bit closer to their rivals Sydney FC, trying to go up to 9 points. We are underway in this one. The third game in the Xbox division, Central Coast Mariners versus Western Sydney Wanderers. 4-2 on aggregate. It'll be tough, but at the moment, I mean, I feel like this is still, it could definitely go either way, even despite Central Coast Mariners having that 2-goal advantage. I think Oh Noah Goat has shown us so far in the E-League that he is capable of pulling off some pretty spectacular results, and of course pulling out the big wins as well. Yeah, he's definitely a player to watch out for. He's done really well in competitions last year. Was formerly with Footwiz and pretty much went to every event he could qualify for. Interestingly enough, he's got his chance here. He's nearly got an incredible opportunity. I think, is that Ronaldo that just sort of, he wasn't controlling him at the time. He probably couldn't switch over back to him in time, but just sort of rolled past him. He nearly could have stuck a foot out and tapped it home, and it could have been 1-0 right there. Yeah, those scuff shots, sometimes you can't even control. Like, it just thinks the keeper's going to get it or it's going to go out for a goal kick, but it just went all the way across the goal there, but no one picked it up. And from that to this, the cross in, dealt with by Maldini, not extremely convincingly, although Central Coast Mariners will get it back and look to build once more. Roberto Carlos, another cross, pull it.
they're dealing with these. They're not letting them get to an attacker to have an opportunity to head it at goal, but the clearances right now just not very convincing. They can't retain possession. And the Mariners, again, just looking to build at the moment. Vieira.
Some interesting choices there for Goat as well. He's got, doesn't have the prime Vieira in there. He had the 88 one. He also has got Maldini at centre-back and Alexandro at left-back. Both of them not really used very much because you've got Team of the Year Ramos, but interesting that the low physical of Maldini gets used in this game.
It's very... it's a rare sight when we just see a regular gold card actually being used. No special item, no inform, no Team of the Year, no icon. So, yeah, it is a bit of a rarity. But, I mean, Alexandro is still one of the better left-backs in the game, although you would argue that maybe you think there'd potentially be some other ones that are slightly better. Yeah,
I mean, Alexandro at the start of the game was definitely one of the best left-backs you could use. Maybe that's why Goat's chosen him. Maybe he's just familiar with his play style. But interesting to see a regular gold card actually used in the tournament.
And sometimes it is just about, even though on paper you've got one player slightly better than another, it can just be about confidence at times. Maybe that's partially the reason why he'll be going with the 88 version of Vieira instead of the prime version.
Yeah, he's maybe just used them over time on his own account in Foot Champs. It comes down to a lot of it. Where's the sacrifice between using someone you're familiar with versus using the best players available?
And this cross could be dangerous. Rose was just trying to get it to the feet of R9 Ronaldo, but he couldn't exactly control it. And again, end-to-end stuff at the moment. No absolute clear-cut chance that's been created so far. We are only just under 20 minutes into the game, but both sides pushing up and having relatively set defenses. No one team's been exposed as of yet, but have a look at this. Onoa Goat, within 20 minutes, scores with Cristiano Ronaldo. His teammate R Double watching on, and now here we go. One more goal for Western Sydney Wanderers ties up this match.
Yeah, he's worked that beautifully there. He just got Ronaldo in. You see how the fullback was dragged out and then the Ronaldo low-driven across the goal. 100% that's going to go in with Ronaldo from there. Beautiful work.
Of course, it didn't exactly roll along ground or anything. It was at a pretty good height for the keeper to save, but still couldn't quite get there. And here we go then, Western Sydney Wanderers. I feel like a relatively even contest at this point, but it is Onoa Goat that strikes first. And can the Goat do it again? He is looking for his 4th win in a row, trying to rescue a point, or maybe all 3 for the Wanderers as well. Liam Rose just around the edge of the box, finds Roberto Carlos. He's definitely looking to go down that left-hand side quite a lot here, Straw Camels. He's whipped in an awful lot of crosses early on as well. We'll see what he does from this corner.
So he's got Roberto Carlos on that left-hand side. Obviously, everyone who watches football knows that he's got that rocket left foot shot. So, I mean, it's tempting to go down there, but he's got to remember on defence, he's only 5'6". So if he's coming up against Hullett in the back post, you're going to fancy Hullett on a cross there.
And the amount of times that we'll see a fullback get exposed at the back post and have someone leap over the back of them and head it home. It happens all the time. That's a pretty decent ball in, but couldn't contort his body there. I think that was Bahaja, and he was in an offside position as is anyway. So now approaching the 30th minute, and we are about halfway through this first. And it looks, again, I still, even at this point, really can't say any one player has edged it. I'd be interested to take a look at the possession stats as well, shots. I think it's all very even at the moment. It's just that Onoa Goat is the only one so far that has hit the back of the net. Looking to do so again, down in the box, a little bit of contact, but no penalty called.
Yeah, the fake shot there just comes back inside. It wasn't a manual tackle, so he didn't press circle, so the chance of, on FIFA, of that giving a penalty is slim, but in real life might be given as a pen in that one.
Absolutely, just the contact enough to force him to go down, but not the actual tackle itself made in FIFA. That really does make all the difference. Rude Hullett, Bahaja with defenders in front. Really are pushed quite narrow here. The Western Sydney Wanderers defenders, Vieira coming back, is able to pick it off. And away they go again. Ronaldo down this left-hand side. He's got some options up ahead. And he can't find a way past Storm Roo. Bonavati doesn't really have an awful lot of options, but he does get by the defender. Can go forward. Finds Cejudo. Cejudo back. Can't exactly find a way to get a shot off before David De Gea came out and claimed it. And now again we will see Central Coast Mariners try to hit them on a counter-attack here. He's got options. 3 up with him. Bahaja. Down goes the defender, but he kicks it straight to the down Ferdinand. And then the ball, which he was trying to squeeze into, I think maybe even again, one of the Ronaldos picked off. And it's another counter-attack. It's end-to-end stuff at the moment.
Yeah, it was just a bit hit and miss in there, just bouncing all over the place. But sometimes those are the ones where the defender's on the floor, you create that space and you're in.
Again, looking a bit threatening here, Ronaldo. Oh, down. It's going to be a free kick. Maybe not a card or anything, but he's a fair way out. I think the wall's just going to be outside the box.
Yeah, just go for the layoff from this far out and try to work it back in, just like a normal, just restart the play, just like it was in free possession.
Sandro will retain the possession. Trying to look down that right-hand side, being nicely pressured and cut off. And again, we're approaching now half-time. At the moment, it's just, again, been a tight, tense affair. The only goal of the game so far still going to Western Sydney. The stop and turn, the Berber spin, couldn't exactly pull that one off either. I feel like this is a game where a lot of near maybe chances for sure for both teams as well. They've gotten, I wouldn't exactly say they've created an awful lot of clear-cut chances. And look at the possession stats here. 60% for Central Coast, yet they are the one that's down 1-0. But a good shot challenges David De Gea. Not good enough, though, to beat him.
That's where Campbell's can use the scoreline that he's got from his teammate there just to help him. If he's on 60% possession, losing the game, but he's still winning on aggregate, I mean, you take 3 points at the end of the day.
That's exactly right. I mean, he is down in this match, but he is up on it. He is up on aggregate, and that is the main thing. Cejudo played it short from the corner, cut it back to Maldini. Vieira, Ferdinand worked it all the way to that back post where Ronaldo got a shot off. It was deflected. They're going to look to do the exact same thing. No, they won't play it short. Punched away by David De Gea. 2 minutes to stoppage time. Western Sydney Wanderers get it back. Surely this will be one of the last chances of the game. Rose makes the tackle, and that will be it. Right now in this game, it is 1-0, but on aggregate, it is Central Coast 4, Western Sydney Wanderers 3.
Quite a close match there, with Wanderers getting at 1-0 to Central Coast Mariners. What were your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, interesting. Central Coast have had majority of the possession, 60%, but just can't find that goal with Oh No, a Goat. 1-0 up at half-time. Quite an even game so far, so be very interesting to see the second half.
Yeah, it seems like the Mariners have had quite a fair few chances there, but just can't seem to get one home in the net, and Oh No, a Goat taking those chances when he gets them.
Yeah, and Oh No, a Goat finished the second half pressing really high, so we will see how that continues into the second half.
Well, let's get underway and hand it back over to Jake and Honey Badger and see what the second half has in store for us.
Cheers, Britters. We do get that second half underway right now. And again, the sheer importance that this game is to the top of the table. The fact that Central Coast Mariners are in second at the moment. Sydney FC, having won their game, means they're on 4 wins, as nearly from kickoff when Western Sydney Wanderers got that goal to equalise and to bring it up to 4-4 on aggregate. But if Western Sydney Wanderers do find a way to win this game, if Oh No, a Goat is able to pull out at least a 3-goal victory in this one, then that will definitely make things interesting at the top of the table, because Sydney FC will, for the first time in the competition's history, be the outright leaders. So far, we've had several teams that have been on top of the table with the same amount of points. Sydney FC just edging on top because of goal difference. But, I mean, this would be massive. No matter what, no matter who ends up winning this, no matter what way the points go, it's definitely going to be interesting. But at the moment, the way it stands, it will still be Central Coast Mariners and Sydney FC on 4 wins and sharing the top at the moment anyway on 12 points.
Yeah, you don't want to get Sydney get too far ahead with all the chance there.
Cleared away, not into a very good area though, and that's going to fall for Neymar, and there you go. Straw Hat Camel's not happy about that one at all, but the clearance, I think he's just pressed the B button just to try to whack it away, and it has gone right into the most dangerous area really on the pitch. The header has been won by, I believe, maybe Cristiano Ronaldo. Neymar open. That is an extremely frustrating one to concede. Oh No, a Goat won't care. And now it is tied 4-4 in aggregate. Have a look at that for a clearance. The header won by Ronaldo. That's an extremely frustrating one to give up, and there's really not much that Camels can do. He's very visibly frustrated by that one.
All my years playing FIFA, I've never seen my keeper come out and try head across.
That's. I wonder if that's a decision that. I wonder if that's what Straw Hat Camels was actually trying to do. If he brought him out himself, or if the keeper's actually just gone out to try to grab it.
I think the clearance might have registered like as if it was like a back pass, effectively, and like the keeper couldn't catch it. But it's an interesting one. We'll see how he can bounce back.
What a goal to shape this contest at the moment. And Oh No, a Goat could potentially be on to some incredible comeback here. He's needed 3 goals to pull it back on aggregate. And we've got the whole green room watching this one at the moment because of how massively important it is. Liam Rose gets the tackle. Gives it up though. Neymar, Ronaldo, poor touch. Roberto Carlos jumps on it and they'll clear it away again.
Yeah, it's important for Campbell's here, part of like land play, these tournament plays, not to get frustrated. I mean, he's done well. The game wasn't been one-sided. He's just struggling just to focus up. And
that ball has gotten through to Cejudo. Oh, it's just gone agonisingly close, just on the outside of the post. Maybe even kissed it on the way through. And there's still 30 minutes left to go in this game. And Oh No, a Goat right now has really all the momentum. So, like, it almost feels like Straw Hat Camels can't get through or past the halfway line as Neymar tries to get a shot, just scuffs it a little bit. David De Gea jumps down and claims it.
Yes, De Gea has always been on form. He's seen him throughout today. Obviously, he's let himself down for that goal for GOAT there, but see if Camels can easily come back for this one.
If it does stay like this, we will have all 3 players that went into this round with nothing but wins staying that way. 100% records for Marco HD, Kieran Gupta, and maybe, if he can hang on here, Noah Goat. He does have a 2-goal lead, so you would assume with only 25 or so minutes left to go in the game that he'll probably pick up the W. However, there's still plenty of time for Straw Hat Camels. Again, like you touched on, he's got to try to make sure that he doesn't get frustrated. It is very hard to keep your composure and to stay calm when you give up a goal like he just did. It's a goal that's very much beyond his control in a lot of ways. It's a frustrating one, and I tell you what, I know a GOAT just doesn't care because he continues to attack, continues to look threatening. The amount of numbers that he had up there right there as well, couldn't find anyone open, but he's really going for it, that's for sure.
Yeah, you just like, if you leave yourself open, you're not letting yourself down with like frustration. You've got to remember you've got a teammate upstairs who's worked hard for the first leg as well. You've got to focus up and see if you can just relax and play your game like usual. And I know it was hard to take that goal, but you've got to sort of move on from it.
And if Straw Hat Camels can find a way to get at least 1 goal, that does become massive. The fact that he will once again, Noah Goat, have to try to find a way to put another 2 in the back of the net. It's all about the aggregate score. If he doesn't end up getting the win, then so be it. He just needs to make sure he gets it done on aggregate. Like you say, his teammates work so hard. Ron Aldinho in possession, back to Liam Rose. He doesn't really have an awful lot in the box to pass to or to try to find a way through, but that one does get through. Pull it. Ronaldo working it around, a little deflection. That one just going to go out for a corner.
Yeah, so he's just worked that well nicely. He's trying to low-driven that one across the goal with 2 defenders in front of him.
Good cross.
Should have worked a little bit
Bahaja going for the spectacular with that one. It looks like he just chested it. It sat in front of him and then went for the spectacular scissor kick, but couldn't quite pull it off. And again, attacking a nice, vicious counter-attack. Ronaldo, tight angle. He has options. Tries to cut it at the back post. Storm Roo running back hard and is able to clear. Very impressive stuff from the fullback there. And 10 minutes to go. Does Noah Goat pull it off? Does he live up to his name as the GOAT?
Yeah, so you just saw there with GOAT attacking down the wing. A lot of the time he's done a fake shot and come back on himself. I think Camels is thinking he's going to do that again, but that time he's just gone for the low-driven pass across the goal. Very effective to mix up your play when you're on the bar line.
He has Roberto Carlos running hard down that left-hand side. We had the space. Ronaldo to Ronaldinho. He's just firing right now when he does have quite a fair few defenders in front. A lot of the shots that he's taking are being either blocked outright or just deflected and going out for corners right now. He's not getting as good a look to just bury this contest, and he's keeping Noah Goat in it. That's a great tackle by Roberto Carlos, but again, takes another touch off his left foot and goes out. And again, the Western Sydney Wanderers will retain possession. That's a poor pass picked off by Vieira.
Yeah, so he's just, both of them seem to just be a little bit rushing it towards the final third at the moment, but Paul Ferdinand covers well there for Camels there.
It's getting maybe not sloppy is the right word, but it is getting a little bit tense, and we'll go with sloppy for the lack of a better word at the moment. But I'll tell you what, the counterattacks are still on and they're vicious from Noah Goat. One more goal, and right now the way it stands as well, with it being 4-4 in aggregate, the first draw in the E-League in this season. Of course, 16 rounds completed, or 17, should I say, fixtures completed, and not one of them has ended in a draw. This could be the first, unless one of these teams can come up with something. Vieira, Ronaldo, has space, surely, there you go! Side netting, he's been able to win it, surely! There's still a little bit of time left. He's still down in this game, but he's up on aggregate, and that's what counts.
So he just saw there with Camels, we were saying his play was rushing, and this one he's taken his time, and look at that, he's got a shot from the penalty spot, low driven across the keeper, and that's a fantastic finish.
It's extraordinary how much space Cristiano Ronaldo seemed to get in the box right there when there were still so many defenders back. It's a 90th minute goal. Surely there's no time for the GOAT to pull one back and to try to keep the draw, to get the draw back for Western Sydney Wanderers. We'll see. Surely he's got to throw all the numbers that he's got up. It's only 2 minutes of stoppage time as well, and immediately turned over. Not just yet. Bahaja did get something on it, couldn't retain or get the possession. Bonavazia, Ronaldo slips into Hudo, but tackled by Roberto Carlos. And they're going to whack it upfield. That's it. Straw Hat Camels, he's been able to pull out the victory. It's a 2-1 loss in this game. He's pumped up about it, but it is a win on aggregate. What a matchup, what a game. And it will finish with a victory to the Central Coast Mariners.
Wow, that was a very close game with Mariners just getting up there, which was very close to having our first ever draw of E-League history, but he managed to get the job done.
Yeah, right there in the end, 89th minute, and the boys were very vocal there, and a very happy winner.
I think it's showing as well that the tournament is getting quite competitive now amongst the players over the weeks. It's Started off as a bit of a fun thing, but now you're really seeing the passion come through.
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, there was words said. He was getting very angry at himself for De Gea coming out and not claiming the ball, but in the end he got the win, so very happy.
And that's it. It's all about aggregate at the end of the day. Let's have a look at the goals. And this is a good build-up from the Wanderers. First goal of the night and a classy finish in the top net. Didn't really give the keeper a chance to get to that one, really.
No, he got the game off to a good start for him. They obviously needed the goal early, and he got that. A very happy teammate.
And you can see the passion coming through him there for getting that cheeky first goal. And here, I'm not too sure exactly what happened here, but it's sort of saved the goal. And then, as you can see here, that it happened to get it in the back of the net, really.
And
you can kind of see why Mariners was a bit, well, Camels was a bit frustrated there as well.
Camels was very frustrated with that. The screen copped it, the controller copped it, but in the end, he did get there. We go. Not happy
clear
at
frustration
all.
coming out of here. And this one was to win the match, get them up on aggregate with a beautiful play there, built up and slotted that in the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah, no stopping that, and a very, very happy Camels. Relieved as well to get the 3 points and keep him on top of the ladder.
Yeah, exactly. After quite a tough match for him, but he managed to get the job done at the end of the day there.
Yeah, he did. A very happy week for the Mariners once again. They stay top of the E-League ladder with Sydney FC, just ahead on goal difference.
That's exactly right. And obviously to mention as well, Noah Goat is still technically undefeated, even though they went down in aggregate. He has won all of his individual matches as well. So great performances from him.
Yeah, definitely. He's, I think, a dark horse of the competition. He's been really good, put in some really, really good performances. And as you said, he's still undefeated. So, you know, that's an awesome achievement so far in round 4 of the E-League.
Definitely one to watch. Let's head over now to Mads in the green room.
Thanks, Britt. I'm here with Kyron. You just scraped through a win on aggregate. Tell me how you're feeling.
Considering that Goats absolutely dominated pretty much the entirety of the game, except for like that one counterattack, very, very relieved. And I feel very sorry for Western Sydney because honestly, that should have been easy, us dropping points in that game. So yeah, very, very tense match.
And it really was a tense match. My heart is still beating. You had a look of worry on your face. Tell me, what did it feel as they started getting goals on you?
Well, obviously the early goals never one that you want to concede, especially in the 20th minute. And then when you made it 2-0, you have a lot of momentum going your way. So it's hard to work against that, really. And we're lucky to get a good counter and get the win out of that one, but geez, man, geez. Yeah.
So we almost had the first draw of the tournament, and we also almost had Sydney FC cemented in the top of the ladder. How does it feel to get back in there?
Well, I mean, we always want to give them a bit of a competition. I mean, it's going to be interesting when we come up against them. I believe it's round 6, so Marco and Samir are 2 top players within the region, so it's going to be very, very interesting. But they look very strong, and it's an honor to be up there with them.
Well, I think you look very strong as well, so congratulations tonight, and good luck for the rest of the competition.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mads. Just a quick recap of the results so far. Sydney FC are up 5-3 in aggregate to Wellington Phoenix. Newcastle Jets just got up 2-1 to Melbourne Victory. And that cracking match we just saw then that got quite tense, saw Mariners get up 5-4 to Western Sydney Wanderers. Our next match of the night is Brisbane Roar versus Melbourne City, with Cripsy having to get up quite a fair few goals to bridge that gap there. But let's get this big match underway and bring out Brisbane Roar's Cripsy. Representing Melbourne City, Marcus Gomes. It's time to get this match underway, and let's head over to Nate and Honey Badger.
Thank you so much, Britt. A battle of the Titans ahead. My name's Nathan Patrick, and I'm here with the one and only Honey Badger. How excited are you for this one?
I've been looking forward to this one ever since I saw I was on commentary for it. I was very happy. Marcus, I obviously travel to all these events with, and Cripsy is obviously a big man in the Oceanic FIFA region, and he's a good lad as well. So it'll be see how these two get on.
Obviously, Cripsy winning his first 2, looking so comfortable, and then got taught a lesson by Jamie as we have a look at his squad.
Yeah, so he's obviously got the Brisbane players there on the left-hand side, and he runs his favourite Luis Suarez up front instead of R9 Ronaldo. So he's got the update this week, so he's got the 95 Suarez up there, so I'm sure he will be very comfortable scoring goals with him.
Delighted with that card, without a doubt. As we have a look at Marcus Gomes. Obviously, that draw against Sydney, Samir maybe surprising a few by holding him, but then Marcus running into true form as we see Fornaroli, Schenkerfeld and Jamison, the A-League players.
Yes, weird to commentate on Marcus after I usually stand behind him when he plays his games at the events, but cool to commentate on him because he's obviously one of the world's best players. So, I mean, it's an honour to call his games here today.
No real surprises with the other players he's picked in his lineup. We saw Ronaldo's, Ramos as well, De Gea. Nothing we haven't seen before, but he's found a winning formula, and you can just suggest that he wants to stick with it now.
Yeah, he's obviously practiced during foot champs and on these competitions, so he knows how to win at LAN events. Cripsy as well, winking at me when he comes in. He's got the confidence and the swagger, so I'm sure he'll do well.
Without a doubt, an epic battle ahead of us here. Cripsy with it all to do, but two of the finest FIFA players in the region on show as we have a look at the changes. A 4-3-1-2 from Cripsy. He knows he has to go all-out attack.
Yeah, so the 4-3-1-2, it's very similar to the 4-1-2-1-2 you see everyone run, apart from the midfield and Messi in particular will very much stick further up the field rather than drop back and help on defence. So Cripsy's obviously using that just to maybe get 3 attackers up front rather than maybe 2 if he was playing the narrow formation.
Eric Botiak up front, Holman in the midfield, Corey Brown at left back. We look at Gomes' team, Fornaroli in that right attacking mid position we've seen before. What a thriller we have in store. Brisbane Roar and Melbourne City in this second leg. It is currently 5-1 to City. Can Cripsy create one of the epic A-League comebacks? Brisbane Roar to kick off to the right of screen.
Yeah, so we've got Marcus in the 4-2-3-1, which is, as I've mentioned before, very good solid formation, so it'll be very hard for the goals to go in, but Cripsy was straight on the attack here, so he's trying to obviously implement his game early on. We'll see Marcus try to hold the ball here. I've seen Marcus before. He's very clever. He's strategic. He'll bounce off the opposition's formation and maybe even go 5 at the back if he needs it at some points.
Having had the pleasure of talking with Marcus during the week, he talks about how it's not about grinding necessarily for him. It's about playing games and reviewing those and learning from them. Maybe a point of difference compared to some of the other competitors here.
Yeah, so the Foot Champions channel, which came in this year, is a really good opportunity to watch your own gameplay back and see how you can improve. I use it a lot as well when not necessarily my wins, but my losses, I'll look back at them and see how I can improve for next week.
As it is, Marcus taking his time on the ball. Every second that goes down really is a second in his favour, and one where Cripsy will need to get it back. You can see his 3 centre mids there trying to stifle space in the middle of the park, and they will get the turnover. They can go straight into this front 3 and on the attack.
Yeah, so every time Marcus is attacking, he's in no rush with this aggregate lead. He's comfortable holding onto the ball. He does it against the world's best. I'm sure he's just gonna. The more minutes he wastes, the more time Cripsy doesn't have the ball. He can't score any goals, even if he is one of the world's best. Cripsy and Marcus going at it, Marcus can slow the game down, and I'm sure a 0-0 he'll be happy with.
We haven't seen Suarez get on the ball too much yet. We talked about that being a key card, a key player for Brisbane and Cripsy. Yeah,
so watching Cripsy streams, he's obviously big on Suarez over R9. Maybe he likes that physical nature of him. I was talking to him earlier. He used the Team of the Season one last year, which was very, very similar to R9 of this year. So hopefully he's just more comfortable with him, and the better version, the 95 one, that's a clinical finisher. So if he gets a chance, it's going to go in.
We saw an excellent left foot finesse shot with Suarez earlier in the tournament. He'd be praying for something similar here. But for now, it is Marcus strolling the ball around. An excellent tackle from Ferdinand there to deny Marcus a clear opportunity.
That was an amazing slide tackle. That takes some courage as well, because if that's a pen, that's a red card, and that's goodbye to the fixture. But he's obviously gone with that, and that's a big slide tackle that could keep him in this first half. We've
seen a few red cards already in the E-League, and they have really killed off those contests. The players that have received them have fought well, but that numbers advantage is just too hard to make up, particularly in this high-pressure environment.
Yeah, when you're going up against someone that's obviously an elite top player, if you don't want to handicap yourself with 10 men on the pitch, it just makes it way too easy to keep the ball.
And keeping the ball is exactly what Marcus is doing here. Stroking it from side to side. He's got space with his fullback if he wants to play it back. He keeps it in and around the box, maybe overplaying it a little bit. And Cripsy now a chance to get further up the field.
Yeah, so what you'll see with Marcus is he will work it as much as he can into the striker's feet. R9 becomes the most dangerous player on the pitch when he's got his back to goal. He can turn either way, he can lay it off. You'll see the top players, especially in the Spring Cup and the one in Barcelona, they'll work into the striker's feet and turn to have that shot on into the corners.
Valencia in space here. A lovely cross-field ball that got Valencia in space. Unfortunately, nothing comes of this. But that was a bit better there from Cripsy, really using the width that the fullbacks offer.
Yeah, so he's definitely got to take the chances when they come. Marcus obviously not giving him many chances on the ball. So every time Cripsy's got to go up, he's got to create a chance, especially to shoot, because obviously Marcus is holding the ball nicely, creating opportunities, but just wasting that clock down a lot.
Ronaldinho dazzles with his footwork. A tight shot there, De Gea comfortably saves. And a corner now for Gomes and Melbourne City.
One thing you'll see with Marcus is when he's keeping the ball, he's never going to pass it. You see Cripsy's trying to cut off the pass, and Marcus is more comfortable just turning in a circle around the AI, and he can't there. Look at that beautiful work goal.
Bruno Fornaroli scored one last week, scores again here. The Melbourne City A-League player in a bit of space, and you can't give Bruno any room because he'll punish you.
Yeah, we're seeing why Marcus is qualifying for these events consistently, getting 155 wins last month. He's just keeping the ball superb and creating chances as well. When the opponent is trying to shut the ball down, they're trying to cut the pass, get that interception. Marcus is very good at he will just spin in a circle, keep the ball, and then drag your players out of position and create chances like that one.
Do you think maybe Cripsy needs to change his formation? A 3 at the back?
It's difficult at this stage when you're already 5 down. I don't think Marcus will concede 6 goals anytime soon in a game, but I'm sure Cripsy's going to play for his own pride and his own ego for this one.
Even just 5 goals for the draw would be a massive achievement. We've talked about how Cripsy likes to watch his opponent, study them, and then adapt. I don't know if he's got anything in the training book to counter this particular scenario. As Valencia intercepts, unfortunately runs into Gullit. And Marcus now with another opportunity, and it does feel like Marcus has had the better opportunities, obviously took his for the goal, and 67% possession. Cripsy can't even get into the game.
That's what the best players in the world will do. They'll just keep the ball when they know they've got the game on lock. Marcus is just more than comfortable just to hold it. Even forcing the ball out wide to Valencia and crossing it in, that's a percentage chance that you're happy to give away rather than creating chances like in here.
Holman into Botiak. It looked like a good opening. Botiak shooting straight at the keeper when he needed to pick a side. However, Cripsy with a chance here swings it into Gullit. Schenkerfeld off the line, can dribble that away quite comfortably. Not a lot of pressure from Raw there. I thought that was maybe an opportunity to box them in, get another shot on goal. But Ronaldinho now in space down the left wing.
So watch Marcus not make that pass into the striker until he's 100% sure it's going to go to his feet. Just turn him with Ronaldinho. Makes 100% passes. That's why he's so effective, just creating opportunities like this.
Fornaroli again in space. Thought he could have shot. Went back into the left foot with the ball roll. De Gea, though, with the clutch save. Fornaroli this time swings it in, but straight at De Gea. Half-time looms. It has been all Gomes. He is a master. It's been a master class. He's up 1-0 in this leg and 6-1 on aggregate.
Jared, quite an interesting first half with Cripsy still managing to hold his own out there and keep it quite a low-scoring first half for Marcus.
Looking at the scoreline for this leg, Cripsy's holding his own against Marcus. Marcus has had some great opportunities in playing some great FIFA, but you've got to give it up to Cripsy. He's defending really, really well, playing some strong football, and you'd like, if it was a closer first leg, you'd really be interested in seeing how Cripsy, if he could steal points, he's just got to be hoping that he can get this leg and make it a little bit better for goal differential.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what Cripsy can produce for us in the second half, and we'll hand it back over to Nate and Butwiz Honey Badger.
Thank you so much, Britt. As we see some of the changes being made, Cripsy here looking at a 4-4-1-1, going to try and use that width on offer to him. Not a direct route to goal, however.
Yeah, 4-4-1-1 is sort of a new formation coming in, sort of hashtag Ryan sort of made it famous. I think he went 159 and 1 loss during qualification last month.